Welcome to Vintage Vignettes channel. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. There is no peace in this grave. Only a dark secret lies beneath. Perhaps the unrest here is a sign of the terrible relationship the living have with the unknown. In the early 19th century, these men would enter graves in the dead of night. Their purpose was horrifying: to sell freshly buried bodies to medical students. Grave robbers descended into the depths of cemeteries, burying themselves in a darkness that even death would not want to witness. The graves of the poor and the unclaimed were the easiest targets for this dark trade. The bodies from these targeted graves were secretly unearthed and taken to anatomy labs. Each grave dug was a new secret, a new terror. What do you think is being told from this podium, rising in the middle of the factory? In the early 20th century, factory workers stood at the same station for hours, and a single voice kept them going. In this image, the person standing on the podium is reading a newspaper or a novel to the workers. This practice was meant to add a bit of color to the workers' monotonous lives and to motivate them. During the exhausting work hours, these stories provided workers with both information and a brief escape. Have you ever wondered what these strange devices were used for? In the early days of World War II, radar technology was not yet advanced enough. Therefore, these giant ear-like devices were used to observe the sky and detect approaching aircraft. Known as sound detectors, they picked up the distant sound of enemy planes' engines to determine their direction. These creative inventions, operating at the edge of technological capability, aimed to give people a sense of security amidst the uncertainty of war. Would you like to start your day with this interesting method? In the early 20th century, alarm clocks were not common, so people relied on individuals called knocker-ups to wake them up in the morning. In this photo, the knocker-up is seen using a long stick to tap on windows to wake up workers. It was crucial for factory workers to wake up on time, and this method ensured they got to work reliably before the advent of alarm clocks. This simple yet effective practice was an essential part of the working routine of that era and held great significance in the lives of workers. These people were not ordinary workers struggling with the cold. They were ice cutters, working for one of the most critical resources of daily life. In the early 20th century, before refrigerators became common, people used natural ice to preserve their food. The individuals in this photo were ice cutters, who harvested large blocks of ice from lakes or rivers and transported them to cities. These workers had to cut and store ice, even in the harshest winter conditions. Despite being a tough and dangerous job, this profession allowed food to be preserved for longer periods and made it possible to cool down on hot summer days. The efforts of the ice cutters provided an essential service that made life easier and met the basic needs of that era. Once upon a time, lighting up the darkness of the night was a job of human labor, not modern technology. This man, seen climbing a ladder at dusk to light the street lamps, was known as a lamplighter. In the early 19th century, gas-powered street lamps were the primary source of urban lighting. It was the responsibility of these workers to light the lamps every evening and extinguish them every morning. Their task was crucial for ensuring the safety of the streets and for helping people feel secure at night. These lamplighters were the pioneers of modern street lighting, illuminating the darkness and bringing light to the city. These men were not ordinary workers. They were the unsung heroes of cities, rat catchers. During the Industrial Revolution, cities grew rapidly and many problems arose, including the increasing rat population. As cities expanded and waste accumulated, there was ample food and shelter for rats, leading to their rapid multiplication. The men in this photo were rat catchers in the early 20th century, using traps and cages to catch rats that could spread diseases in the city. Although it was a tough and dangerous job, they frequently faced the risk of bites and infections, but it was essential for keeping the city clean and healthy. These rat catchers were the pioneers of modern pest control, fighting against the unseen enemies of society and playing a crucial role in maintaining public health. In the past, every phone connection was made by human effort, switchboard operators. In the 1950s, communication networks were not automated, and switchboard operators worked to connect calls. The young woman in this photo was one of these operators, manually connecting calls using cables. As cities grew, this job became even more important. Even late at night, they were on duty, connecting emergency calls. Their hard work laid the foundations for modern communication. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, trees cut from forests were transported along rivers to sawmills. Log drivers balanced on the water, guiding the logs while facing strong currents and sudden obstacles. Their work was vital to the lumber industry and essential for transporting materials for growing cities. Would you take on such a dangerous job? Share your thoughts in the comments. Yes, children were doing this for someone's pleasure. In the early 20th century, there were no automatic pin-setting machines in bowling alleys, and this job was given to children. The kids in this photo worked as pin setters, resetting the pins after each throw. Constantly bending down and standing up for hours to arrange the pins was physically exhausting, often leading to back and knee pain. Moreover, these children had to work long hours for almost no pay, barely getting by on low wages. Even late at night, sometimes until the early hours of the morning, these children worked through the cold and exhaustion to help people enjoy themselves at the bowling alleys. Their effort was an unseen part of the bowling experience, reflecting the harsh realities of that era. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe for more amazing content, and let us know your thoughts about the photos in the comments below.